we are here in Norfolk, Virginia with Starr Armstrong, owner of Clever Communities in Action.
So I got a good response, and I was able to put books into 2 schools and go out and...
Are any schools in the area, are they involved with what you're doing, see what you're doing to actually help you reach those children that need that?
So again, literacy as a weapon, Law Scholars, the book, The Color of Law. We took 7 students, 7 high school students from around.
All right. Welcome to Visit Vegas Places with your host, Coyle. Again, where we discuss real Vegas, real topics, real business with real owners. But again, this is where we venture off. This is the second edition of where Vegas ventures off. As you guys are aware, we were in Madison, Wisconsin last. This time we are in Norfolk, Virginia. And we are here in Norfolk, Virginia with Starr Armstrong, owner of Clever Communities in Action. Starr, it's a pleasure to have you with us. How are you doing today, Starr?
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me. It's definitely a pleasure.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure, Starr. I'm glad to have you along. Starr is the owner of Clever Communities, which you can reach her website at clevercommunities.org. Before we get into a little what you do, Starr, let them know where we can reach you at on all social media platforms and also your website, please.
All right. Well, our website is clevercommunities.org. And you can follow us on Instagram at cca_org. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Clever Communities in Action. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Clever Communities in Action. We're pretty easy to find.
Yes, they are. And they're making a lot of noise, and the purpose is very meaningful. As you is on the website, a book is the first stamp on a child's passport. I love it. Just explain a little to us, Starr, which Starr actually is her goal is to improve literacy rates, build community, and heal traumas inflicted by racism within the African American community. So Starr, give us an enlightenment of what you offer with Clever Communities in Norfolk, Virginia?
Well, let's see. Well, as you quoted, you read a quote on our website, reading is the first stamp on a child's passport. And, it's personal for me, starting out with the fact that when I was about 3 years old, my granny in Gadsden, Alabama, taught me how to read. And, I loved reading. I was a voracious reader. I read a lot of, I liked reading about people. I liked reading about, historical people in the Black community. But when children get to a certain age, what we like to call chapter books, I wanted my chapter books. And at that point in time, that consisted of things like the Babysitter's Club, Sleepover Friends. And while I enjoyed those books tremendously, I was very much aware that, those girls in those books did not look like me. They did not look like my cousins, my family members. And there was a void there. There was definitely a void. And I began to realize how being such a strong reader helped me to be such a strong student overall, and just being able to articulate myself in life and be able to grasp certain things and again communicate certain things. And so as I got older, I started to notice that there was a shortage of Black children's books. And I set out to do something about this. Like it was, I think about 10 years ago, my dermatologist told me about at one of the elementary schools here, there was an African-American read-in. And I was like, I don't know what that is, Dr. Quarles. He sent me the email, but I was like, it sounds dope, so I'm going. And I went, and it was nothing short of amazing. And the children were in the library, and they were doing, drumming, and they presented things, and it was great. But as I'm looking around the library, I'm like, I don't see enough Black children's books in here. I don't see enough representation. And so I set out well before crowdfunding was, I stumbled across something called Fundraiser. And, my following at that time, I was a blogger. a writer, and I had, I'd written for publications across the United States as well as, locally, and I had a nice
Okay.
following. And so I put the fundraiser thing out on Facebook, and I said, I want to raise money in February to put books into, to put Black children's books into these elementary schools. So I got a good response, and I was able to put books into 2 schools and go out and, have an event around it and everything. And
Right.
it was very fulfilling. And from there, that was the springboard to, fast forward when Clever Communities in Action would be
Oh,
born as a 501c3 nonprofit. Now, I don't want to,
okay.
put my age out there, but working with youth and understanding the importance of positive cultural representation and children
Right.
seeing themselves in the learning process. Now, I've been doing that for a long time, but the birth of the
Right.
organization, I'd say that's when, that began to happen because, you know, as adults, when we read things that we either are interested in, like I get joy, personal fulfillment out of this, or you understand I need to learn something. So
Right.
it's one or two things. And children, a lot of times, particularly Black children, are not presented with books that interest them. You
Correct.
want children to
Correct.
read, but you also want them to have a love of reading because there is so much value in that. And so when they're able to see themselves, like here's a little girl with Afro puffs, here's a little girl with
Right.
cornrows and beads in her hair, like I have. This lady looks like my mother. That looks like my dad, my grandmother.
Right. Right.
That is
Right.
empowering when you see yourself, because if you live in a society where you are constantly written out, that is a message that you are giving to children. When the heroes and heroines never look like you, when the people who try and try again and they fail and then they succeed, and they
Right.
never look
Right.
like you, then that's a message that we're sending to children. So
Right.
the mission in the beginning was, to right that wrong. So, I'll pause right there because I feel like I said a lot, but it builds, because from
That's right.
there
You're
we've gone
okay.
more places, but that's the foundation.
Gotcha, and that sounds good, and you're a blessing because not too many establishments or even companies are even doing or putting effort or contributing to their own neighborhood as you are. Of course, I wish we had something like that, what you're representing out here in the city of Las Vegas. Not only just Las Vegas, but across the board in the United States and other cities. One question, Starr, when you first started, did you get what I should say? Some help or even involvement from the schools, public schools, or any schools in the area? Are they involved with what you're doing and seeing what you're doing to actually help you reach those children that need that?
Yes, yes, especially now. In the beginning, they were excited when we called, and they wanted the books. And to date, we placed thousands of books into Title I elementary school libraries across, because our area. I'm in Norfolk, but we're comprised of 7 cities that are called the Hampton
Okay.
Roads area. So on the south
Okay.
side, we placed thousands of books, as well as in Flint, Michigan. And
Hmm.
so, the schools in the beginning were just, when we'd call and be like, we want to, do this, they'd be like, well, what's the catch? I got that quite a few
Right.
times. Like, well, what's the catch? The
Right.
catch is that it's going to be put to good use. And they're like, yes, the media specialist would just be, almost jumping up in the air doing flips behind this,
Right.
because most of them saw the value of
Mm.
having this. And when we have the event where we bring the books, like that first time, it wasn't as grandiose as it has grown into. It was me coming in
Okay.
there with the camera crew, and we wanted to
Hmm.
record it because we wanted the people who donated to be able to see it.
To
And when we
see it.
presented it, we told
Right.
the children, there are a lot of people who love and care about you, who took the time to donate money because they want you to have this. And they're like,
That's
really?
right.
They're looking
That's
at, for
right.
real? I'm like,
Right.
yes, a lot of people. They just started sending me money, and they're like, for us, yes, for you beautiful babies. And so, this point, the assistant principal at PB Young Senior in Norfolk, Virginia, we didn't
Okay.
really have a setup. And so I'm going in there and I'm excited. And then I'm not gonna lie, I got a little nervous because I was like, wait a minute. I love reading and I know it's important, but this is not like an iPad. It's not some kind of video game.
Right.
What if the
Right.
children are not as excited about this? And
Hmm.
so I get
Correct.
into her office and she has this really big desk. And so we just
Right.
decide to like set up the books on the desk and she
Hmm.
calls in some fifth graders. And they
Hmm.
come in and now I'm standing there kind of like, uh-oh, I don't know how this is gonna go. And she come and she was like, Miss Armstrong is here, Clever Communities, and she they're donating these books to our library. And the children look at the desk and they come over there and they're like, we can touch them, and then they're just going, they're like,
Wow.
wow. And they're just going through the books and they're just like, wow, wow, wow. And then one of the
Wow.
babies asked me, could he have my autograph? And I say that to
Aw.
say because I
Oh.
brought books. So that a child felt
Right.
that way about someone who
Wow.
brought books with, they're like Muhammad Ali and they're going through and, looking at all the titles and,
Wow.
I am just reading all those titles and everything. And they don't want to put the books down. They're excited. And so I'm like, when you present children with the things, the right tools, then
Right.
they put them to use. One of my favorite quotes is by Frederick Douglass, and he says, "It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." And
That's right.
so, and that is
That's
than
right.
to repair broken people. And so,
And
we live by that mantra. We are building strong children,
it's
and we
beautiful.
have a holistic approach because literacy is important and it's the foundation of learning. But we have a
You're
holistic
correct.
approach about that self-esteem, about that self-worth, about making sure, it's clever communities in action. And the community,
Correct.
the village portion is extremely important. That part is
Yes,
extremely
ma'am. It is
important.
important because you can give the community the clever and the wit and the wisdom and the knowledge, but none of that it means nothing without applying it to the life we live. You have to apply it, which whereas that action comes in place. Again, audience, you guys are listening to Starr Armstrong. You can reach her at clevercommunities.org. Starr Armstrong at clevercommunities.org, based in Norfolk, Virginia. And one thing, Starr, I want you to brief us on from your website. Just a couple of things I want you to just brief real quick. Let us know about the literacy as a weapon. Your law scholars. Brief us a little on that.
Law scholars. Okay, so law scholars is L.A.A.W, and that stands for literacy as a weapon. A backstory on that is I used to work for the city of Virginia Beach. For 7 years I worked out there, and I worked in primarily in two communities that are quote unquote low income communities, with
Okay.
children and families dealing with systemic challenges that come
Hmm.
along with that. And my
Okay.
babies at the facility that I worked, they were phenomenal. I mean, I'm still in
Wow.
touch with a lot of them to this day. Those
Good.
children were everything, and then also building the bonds with their parents as well. It was like we all became family. But one day I am in an office, and there's a
Hmm.
group of black boys who are high school age, and they are
Okay.
saying a lot of self-deprecating things about how they feel about themselves, how they feel about
Okay.
the way they look, about their dating choices, and
Mm.
just a conversation that was very disheartening. So I'm listening before
Hmm.
I'm getting ready to chime in. And
Right.
one of the babies was sitting there. He was the youngest. He was 12, and he just blurts
Wow.
out, "Black people are wild. White people are normal." And so it crushed me. And what was going on with that is this child is juxtaposing his experiences growing up in the quote unquote hood,
Right.
juxtaposed to children he's going to school with who are white, who are not black, and who are from more affluent, more stable communities. And for a
Gotcha.
child who does not understand the cause and the effect, who does not know about systemic racism, who does not know about redlining, who does not know about gerrymandering, who does not know about urban renewal, who does not know about all the forms of
Right.
systemic discrimination, environmental discrimination, just a plethora of things. That is what that ends up looking like to that child. And that could end up looking like
Right.
that to other children who are not Black. When
You
we
are
are in
right.
a
You are
society
right.
that does not tell the cause, but only you see the effects. And
Right.
so that leads to a low sense of self-worth. And when you have a low sense of self-worth and self-esteem, the way that you relate with your families, your peers, and people around you is not positive. And so when
Right.
he said that, now I'm talking to these children, talking to them about redlining, talking to them about,
Mm-hmm.
how the hood is a social construct, how things were systemically done to make sure that certain groups of people are in certain places and contained that way. Fast forward
Right.
to 2017, a book comes out called The Color of Law. And that book is written by Richard Rothstein. And in that book, he specifically goes into redlining and the lengths that the government went to. All facts. You hear about the New Deal, you hear about the
Mm-hmm.
GI Bill, and you think these things are
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. But then when you hear about how Black people were not given access to those
Right.
things, when you hear about how housing project communities were started, for white people, but then when
Right.
they
Right.
started to make it where you could get loans, where they were able to get loans on homes and move out, and Black people were corralled in there and they were not maintained, you begin to see, how what you see every day and you think it's just
Right.
happenstance, how it was not.
Right.
And so
Right.
this book, I was like, okay, now I can create a program. Now I have the tool to create a curriculum and create a program. And so again, literacy as a weapon, law scholars, the book, The Color of Law, we took 7 students, 7 high school students from around the Hampton Roads area, and we received a
Mm-hmm.
grant. We received a grant from the Hampton Roads Community Foundation and Virginia Humanities, a grant called Beneath the Surface, where they wanted to have discussions around race and
Wow. That's
systemic
nice. Wow.
racism in Hampton Roads. And I said, in
Right.
timing a thing, because I had wanted to do this program about 3 years prior. But here comes the funding, and now here comes, my city, my area. Like we want to address this, and we want to
Right.
empower organizations to be able to address this. So I get 7 dynamic youth, and they come together, and we do an extensive study on this book, The Color of Law. And then we began to go around. One of our school boards member here, shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Rodney Jordan, who is like a griot. He knows
Mm-hmm.
all the history of Norfolk and a lot of the other cities around here, but especially Norfolk. So he's a part of it. And he's giving,
Wow.
we're reading the book, which is national, but then we begin to take local, how these things happen locally. And then we go and we go around the communities that are experiencing urban renewal right now and interview
Right.
citizens. We get
That's good.
elders, and we begin to interview elders and have them tell their powerful, their triumphant, their heart-wrenching stories of what they have dealt with when it comes to systemic racism, when it comes to redlining, when it comes to all of these different things,
Right.
educational discrimination.
Right.
And we have young people and elders
That's
sharing
nice. I
their
like how
stories,
you
sharing.
integrate the community, not only just the kids, but you integrate the community also. I noticed that with your razor sharp readers, with community barbers. Can you let us know how you integrate the barbers in the community with the readers of the children? How does that work?
Barbershops are a staple in the African American community. That visit, I'm sure you can relate to
Mhm.
that. I don't know if you remember
Yes.
your first haircut. But I remember when my cousin brother, I'm an only child, but I have a cousin brother. And I remember when he got his first haircut. I know that it is an important thing. And I know grown men look forward to going to the barbershop because y'all are
Right.
gonna, congregate and have these conversations and everything in there. And so we said, reading needs to happen beyond the classroom. So here's a place in the space again that is like a rites of passage. So let's put that in there. Let's
Right.
so we have the razor sharp readers bookcase in there. We have the razor sharp readers chart. We have the razor sharp readers chest. And when children come in to get a haircut, the barber, encourages them to pick up a book and read while they wait, if they have to wait. When they get in the barber's chair,
Wow.
they read their book.
Right.
When they complete the read, the barber yells out, "We got a razor sharp reader." And everybody says, keep shining, young king. And then the child is able to pick a prize from the razor sharp reader's chest. And he goes and puts
Beautiful.
his name on the chart with a star. And after 7 of those, he gets a free haircut. But it's the
Wow.
encouragement to read. It's the villages. It's the men in the shop. Like encouraging them to read and we also do events. We bring African American authors out. We've had New York Times bestselling author Derek Barnes come out.
Okay.
And he has the book Crown and Ode to the Fresh Cut, The King of Kindergarten, and so many other bestsellers. And he came out and it was beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
relating to the children. They still talk about that visit to this day, BK Fulton. Then, COVID-19 hit and we weren't able to have all the visits
Right.
anymore, but we're looking
Correct.
forward to getting those things back on track. But,
I
reading
love it.
beyond
I
the
love it.
classroom, and it's all still
Yes.
culture affirming literature.
Gotcha. And I love that. See, this is why I do this show, and for our audience to share best practice like that. As you see stars working with the kids, and not only working with the kids, but incorporating the schools and also the community barbershop, which is the small business and moms and pop shops, which is beautiful. Again, Starr Armstrong with clevercommunities.org. And she is located in Norfolk, Virginia, VA, baby. And one thing I got to ask you, Starr, you've been to Vegas before, right? You've been out here before, right?
Yes.
What's your favorite hotel casino when you come out here, or one that you know of? Like, I love that place. What's your favorite?
Oh, you put me on the spot. So I've been once. Once, and I didn't really get the chance to get around like I wanted to because it was cold. We came
Oh,
in February, so I have to come
yeah.
back. I didn't get to
February is the best
experience.
time to come. You ain't got to be sweating in
What?
115 degrees.
Oh man,
Like,
it was like, so I'm a cold natured person, and so at
gotcha,
night
gotcha.
it was cold. Like the high was
Yeah, it
probably
gets cold.
63. Yeah,
Yeah,
and so we wanted the nightlife, and then I was like, "Ooh, that nightlife's a little too cold for me." So I have to
that's
come
right.
back, and you'll have to ask
Yes, you
me
do.
again.
You're going to have to come back. And then when you come back, though, I'm going to take you to some communities out here, and we're going to do
Okay,
that and film that. And I would love to have you out here. Let's do that, and then do some wonders here in the community to share best practice on what you guys doing out there in Norfolk, Virginia, with some of those communities that need them out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, you are on Visit Vegas Places with Coyle. Starr, we're going to have a little fun before you leave out with my show, This or That. And all it is I give you an option of this or that. And I try to stereotype you a little to match the questions to your life. So hopefully I got you correct. And you just give me a guess of which one you prefer, either this or that. And then again, I give you a very, very Vegas question on the end. This one will be lightweight for you. So you should be able to guess it. But we're going to start with this or that. So with this or that, your choices, you choose one. Your preference. And this one, I try to get the opposite of you. Math or science?
science.
Science. I knew you'd say that. I mean, now I know after talking to you. But math and science, good one. So this next one right here is eat, because I'm a foodie. So we want to think of you
Oh,
ordering
nice.
a salad. So when you order a salad, this or that, you prefer crispy chicken or grilled chicken?
Vegan. I'm
Oh,
vegan.
she got me. All right. So you would rather have plant chicken? Well, plants, the plant chicken. Do they have it? They do have it. I know the
They have
burgers are pretty good. Have you tried the?
Yes, yes, yes. So that has come a long way. I'll tell you that for the substitutes, they have come a long way, because there was a time when
They
they were
have.
not that great, but
Have
I
you tried
have
that
friends who
Impossible
are,
Whopper?
yes, yes. I just recently
You
tried
did?
that. Yes,
I
yes.
haven't tried it. It's good.
I think you would like it. I know people who eat meat and they like it.
Don't even know the difference, huh?
Exactly. If you until you tell them, and then they're like, "What?"
Wow. Okay. So this last one right here, Apple or Android?
Android.
That's my girl. Yes, I'm with you on that one. All right.
I love
But
my
not to knock my
Android. I
Apple
love
user.
my Android.
I love mine too, especially at what I do. I have everything in one shot. I can either use my Chromebook, my PC, or go back to my phone, have the same thing. But I do love my Apple users. A lot of my downloads come from Apple users, not to knock anything. I know you guys love your devices, but we
I
also love
get
our
it, but
Androids.
Google is wonderful. You know, it's so many things. We're so
Yes.
intertwined with the Google suite and so many things that they offer with what we do. So, you
Oh
know, I
yes,
love
so
my Android.
beautiful.
People
Their
tell me,
workspace, yes.
yes, yes, yes. People tell me I'm gonna end up converting at some point, but I was like, it'll be a reluctant conversion.
That's right. All right, I appreciate you. Now, our last one is very, very Vegas. To see how very, very Vegas you are with this question, and this question is not only to see how very, very Vegas you are, but to educate the audience on Las Vegas, Nevada. So this one, it is lightweight, so don't worry. Which casino has a pirate ship in front of the casino? Which casino has a pirate ship in front of the casino?
Wah wah wah.
Give me a
Does it have
guess.
pirates in
Just
it? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. It used to, or it runs like it does have pirates in it every 45 minutes. Then they'll take a
No,
break and
I
smoke
mean the name.
cigarettes.
I'm just gonna jump out there and say, is it the
Uh,
pirate? Something like I don't know.
it has to do with pirates. You're getting warm, though. The name has to do with pirates.
Oh, treasure, eye patch, booty,
Ooh, you getting there? You there? You there? You got it. Keep going.
uh,
You getting hot. You had that first word. That first word with the T. You got
did I
it.
say treasure?
You said,
Did I say
uh-huh.
booty? Like the pirate's booty?
No, ooh, it's not a casino yet called Treasure Booty, but you're there
What
almost.
you know what I mean? Not the shake your booty,
All
but the
right.
you know.
Yeah, it's
I didn't know
Treasure
if they had a
Island.
double entendre going on
Yeah.
there. So, um,
It
I
will be
don't
Treasure
know.
Island. It's
Okay, okay.
okay. Yeah, you was close
I was
though.
close. I was
Yeah, you were
close.
close. You said treasure booty, so you had one word. That's one of the name
I
of
was
our
just trying
strip
to shout
clubs
out
out
all the
here.
pirates. Peg leg. I don't know.
Oh man, it's been a pleasure, Star. Again, I thank you for blessing us with your presence. Star, let the audience know where they can reach you on your website, also on social media platforms, please.
Again, you can find us Instagram, CCA_org, on Facebook, Clever Communities in Action, and on YouTube, Clever Communities in Action, and we're clevercommunities.org. Make sure you go check out our footage, the Virtual Village Show, where we have our youth hosting this literacy show. You definitely want to check that out. We got hours and hours of footage for y'all to go back and bring your little ones, all little ones, have them family time is what you want. That's where you can find us. Definitely check that out. And we love to hear from you all as well.
That's right. You guys heard it, Starr Armstrong. Let's give it to her, and that's clevercommunities.org from Clever Communities in Action. And she is in Norfolk, Virginia. Again, Starr, I want to thank you. You guys know this is Visit Vegas Places, and this is the edition where Vegas ventures off, and we got a chance to venture to Norfolk, Virginia. And I want to thank you guys. You guys could have been anywhere. You spent time with us, and we appreciate that. And again, I thank you, Starr. Starr, I love you. I appreciate what you're doing, and I thank you for joining us, Starr, in Las Vegas.
Love you too. Thanks so much for having me. I enjoyed it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.